Hi, Carol. I have dogs. If you hear them barking, don't be surprised.
I'm sitting outside. If you hear birdies tweeting, don't be,
Awesome.
don't be surprised. My apologies. I'm dirty. I'm still gardening.
Well, you should never have to apologize for that, especially to this group.
I figured you guys would understand because I'm going to go right back to it. Oops. What did I do?
There you are.
Oh, there I am. Never mind.
So, Carol, we have so far Mary Ann and Donna English. Donna English is showing up as iPad, but that's Donna. Do you guys know each other? Any of you?
So,
okay.
No, Mary Ann.
Oh, I do?
I think Mary Ann and Donna know each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I meet people and then forget.
Oh, I'm terrible with names. Yep. Well, we'll give a couple more minutes for more people to join. We had about a dozen people sign up. In my experience, about half as many as sign up actually show up.
Yeah.
Especially on a nice day when you could be out gardening.
Well, out in a meeting. So, no, Greg from Flat Creek told me that he registered, but then something came up and he can't be here. So,
okay. Well, we will record this meeting and we'll make it available. So anyone who misses it, who wants to watch it, we'll put it out there on, there's a Georgia Native Plant Society YouTube channel. We'll put it out there. We're doing that for all the chapter interest meetings. Sorry for the dogs. Someone obviously walked by the house.
oh, dear.
So for the last couple of years, except for this year, because we did a virtual symposium, the GNPS symposium was in Macon. Were any of you guys able to attend that?
Yes. Both.
Good.
I missed registration. It closed before I got there. And then of course the virtual, no problem.
Right.
Do that.
Right. Well, I think it was in early 2020 when we had that symposium. There was actually a meeting in Macon for, talking about getting a chapter started. Were any of you at that meeting?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And then COVID happened and all of our plans just went to heck in a handbasket.
Well, maybe I did meet you, Marianne.
Possibly. There were a lot of people there, as I recall.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah, and some of the folks there were actually people interested in Augusta, but I just think they were wanting to see what was happening. I actually still have the sign-in sheet from that meeting. I do believe somewhere, because I think I used that as part of the sending some invitations to this meeting.
Yeah, your emails keep going to my spam folder, so sometimes I'm late because I forget.
That has seemed to have happened recently. It happened to me also that like the newsletter went to my spam folder, and the database, we use a database, or it's an application called Neon, and they had some changes right before we noticed that the emails were going to people's junk boxes or spam folders. So I think that it may be something that they changed that's causing that. I don't know.
Well, and it's probably something I can go in and fix. I just haven't had time to just think about that.
Yeah. Just don't forget to check your spam folder.
Exactly.
Well,
the link for today's meeting was in my spam folder, but
yeah. Yeah, I think if you add a contact with the email that it's coming from, then it won't spam it.
Then we'll be okay.
Yeah.
My shade is moving. I need to move.
Oh, understand.
Sorry, I should have muted myself first. That was a lot of noise.
Okay. All right. Well, it It is 3 minutes after, so I'm going to suggest we get started, even though we may have people join that are coming in a few minutes. So first of all, just let me say that we have had and are having chapter interest meetings for 6 different chapters across the state. So we're super excited. We've already had meetings for North Georgia Mountains. We had one yesterday for Athens area. We're having you guys, Macon. We're having Augusta area and North Metro Atlanta and in-town Atlanta still to come. So we're really excited that we're able to get these meetings going and hopefully get some new chapters started across the state since COVID messed up all of our plans last year. But the momentum seems to be growing. So excited about that. And I see Deanne has joined us. Hi, Deanne. So to get us started, why don't we just make introductions so we'll know each other, and I'll start. My name is Michelle Buchanan. I am on the State Board of GNPS as the secretary, and I'm also a co-chair for the Membership Chapter Relations Committee, and have been doing those 2 jobs for a little over a year. I retired about 2 years ago. And so this has been my part-time job since I retired, which I dearly love. And so this is just exciting to me to see these new chapters popping up across the state so we can really get the GNPS message and programs and things out into all the corners of Georgia, however many corners we have. So I have 3 children. I have 3 grandchildren and 1 on the way, and 3 dogs and 1 cat. And at our meeting yesterday, we all told our favorite native plant. So I am going to say that my favorite native plant is a plant you may not have heard of. It's called Collinsonia verticillata, world stone root. Go look that up. It's a woodland plant and it is just beautiful, but they're not very common in Georgia. So Marianne, why don't you go next and tell us something about you?
Okay. Well, I've been retired a long time. I have a grandson, 2-year-old grandson that I'm babysitting on his daycare plan. So I'm looking forward to summer vacation because mom's here, and that means I have the summer off like she does.
Yeah.
So it's been keeping me really busy. I'm a master gardener, master naturalist. Donna and I are good friends. We've worked at the Native Garden at the Museum of Arts and Sciences and a lot of other things, been on road trips together. So she has a beautiful yard and is a great propagator. So I'll just introduce that about her. Master gardener can just, take up all your time, though, I'm finding out. So I can't be responsible for anything, but I want to keep my ear on this conversation because as I get less busy as my grandson gets older, then I'm going to want to be a lot more active. So do I have to say my favorite native plant? Oh, how do I choose? We're full of hickory trees, which is not all that typical. So I love hickory trees, although I still find them extremely difficult to understand.
Yeah.
So that's me.
All right. Thank you. Carol, why don't you go next?
Okay. Well, I'm Carol Bokros. I am not a master gardener. I would love to be a master naturalist someday, but we'll see. I'm happy that we probably are connected through the museum in some way. My daughter is I can't remember her title, director of communications and membership, maybe. So I'm always telling her let's let the museum host our meetings.
Yeah.
But there's
Which museum?
I think Arts and Sciences in Macon.
Oh, okay. Wow.
What's your daughter's name?
Kiri Hugdahl.
Say that again.
Kiri Hugdahl. My married name is Hugdahl. And she was in charge of Festival of Trees last year. which was very stressful apparently. Anyway, that's another story. I love walking through their gardens. I live in Ingleside, and I am slowly but surely removing all the ivy that's been here for probably 50 years,
Mhm.
replacing with natives, and that's what I was out doing, bundling up ivy, because you can't compost it, right? So my favorite native plant is probably sassafras. One, it's
Oh,
fun to say, and two, when I was a Girl Scout leader, we used to look for them because their leaves look like dinosaur footprints. And I have two daughters. They're both grown. One's at the museum, one lives in Atlanta. Is that enough?
Thanks, Carol.
Sure.
All right. So Donna, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm a master gardener, and that's how I got interested in the gardens out at the museum. And so I've helped out there for years. And this last year, I've been a total bum and just, I guess, laid in front of the TV for. But now it's warm and beautiful. Yeah, I also like to do some of the trips as much as I can with the Georgia Botanical Society, which has also been laying low this last year. And I do think they're going to try to open up a bit on their trips now, since most of us old folks are vaccinated, which gives you a little hope, you know. So I have one daughter and two fat cats, and I live near the Blind Academy.
Oh, not too far from
Very,
me.
yeah, not far. Very small yard back here, but I'm trying to put a few natives in. And I cannot pick one plant, but I love all the spring ephemerals. I really love them. So.
All right.
Trilliums, bloodroots, you know.
Yeah.
Yes,
good things.
columbines. Keep going, keep going.
I think we love those a lot because they're only with us for a short time in spring, and then
Yes.
and we have to wait a whole year for them to come back.
Yeah, yeah.
Deanne, can you hear us?
She may not have audio.
She may be muted.
Well, she typed in hello everyone, so I'm thinking she might have access to audio.
Well, Deanne, if you can hear us, if you want to tell us about yourself, please do. I can hear you. Oh, pink muley grass. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right. Well, then let's get started and talk about forming a chapter of Georgia Native Plant Society. Have any of you been on the website recently? There's a section on the gnps.org website that's specifically for chapters. And we've added some information recently about how to get a chapter started. So has anybody seen that before? No. Okay. Well, let me show you.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Didn't do our homework.
We're gonna look at it a little bit.
Get the emails, but I haven't seen or looked for that.
All right, well, hang on and I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna attempt to share my screen and pull it up. Okay. We will see what happens. Screen 2. All right. Now, do you see my screen with a document with gray boxes on it?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is the chapter quick start guide. This basically outlines step by step the things you have to do to start a chapter of Georgia Native Plant Society. And I'll say up front that getting started, it is like starting a new business because you have to do all the things that businesses have to do. You have to register with the state. You have to do an incorporation. There's a lot of paperwork. After that, the fun begins. You have the meetings and the field trips, and you go and look at each other's yards and do the fun things like that. But the first few steps, which would probably take a week or two, are paperwork centric. Fortunately, for all the things that have to be done to start a chapter that require paperwork, we have done most of the work for you. For instance, When you incorporate the chapter, you have to have articles of incorporation. We have those pre-made for you that all you have to do is fill in the chapter name. You have to have bylaws for the chapter. We have those already made for you. Again, it's just fill in the blank. You put your chapter name in there. And then there's some choices that you make within the document, like how often your board will meet, how often your members will meet, and things like that. Again, it's just fill in the blank. So it doesn't require a ton of work. The one step that takes a little longer is applying to the IRS for federal tax exemption. That means the organization, the chapter, will become a 501c3. That's a tax exempt nonprofit. So that when someone donates money to your chapter, they get a receipt and they can file that with their taxes, and it's exempt from federal income taxes, which is one of the big benefits. Plus, there are a lot of other benefits to being in a 501c3. So GNPS is a 501c3, and each of our chapters are their own 501c3. So they're different legal organizations, but we all work toward the same mission with the same goals. The programs that are at the state level are done by people in the chapters doing them. For instance, we have a habitat certification program where you can get your property certified as a GNPS native plant habitat. And what we like to do is have people in each chapter who are certified to do that, to go out to someone's yard and look around and determine whether the property is eligible for certification or not. And that's how we have the programs at the local level. The same with rescues. We'll have someone in the chapter who will become the rescue facilitator and work with finding places where plant rescues can happen, doing some of the work that has to be done locally, because most of the board of GNPS is in Atlanta, in Carrollton, and in Tifton. So we're not that close to Macon. We're a little ways away. So really it takes the chapter stepping up and instituting these programs. And it's a lot of fun. I've been on a chapter board before, been involved in being in some of the committees and things, and it is work, but it's fun. It's, you're doing it, something you're passionate about. So all that being said, we won't walk through all of the steps of this document because I think there are 17 or 18 steps. But again, it's like you have to have a startup committee. That's just 2 or 3 people to kind of get things going. Then you have to have a meeting, which is this meeting and can be other meetings since we only have a few people here, a chapter interest meeting. And then choosing your chapter name, choosing who's going to serve on the startup committee and act as the president, the secretary, and the treasurer. And then, you move on with the other steps. So that being said, to start a chapter, you need to have 10, that's a minimum, GNPS members who are willing to raise their hand and say, yes, we want to start a chapter. Now it can be 15, 20, 30 people, but you have to have a minimum of 10. And then once the chapter is formed or anywhere along the way, of course, word of mouth, things get out and people posting on social media and talking to their friends. Then the chapter grows, and most of our chapters now are between 80 and 100 members.
Wow.
So, it just grows and grows. And I don't know how many actual GNPS members are in Macon, but what we found is that there are a lot of people in areas in Georgia who are very interested in being involved with something like Georgia Native Plant Society. But there's never been an opportunity for them to participate in that because you would have to drive to Atlanta to do it. So once they find out, oh, I can do something locally at the Arts and Sciences Museum or wherever you choose to have a meeting place, then you just get more and more people. A lot of people come from the Master Gardener program into GNPS. And, just native plants, I think, especially this last year with the COVID, I think one of the benefits of COVID, people have gotten more interested in gardening and they've gotten more interested in native plants. We actually had a native plant nursery write to us and say, can you help me get the word out? We're running out of plants because there's such an interest in native plants right now. Well, isn't that the best bad news you've ever heard?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's an exciting time. And we're just really thrilled that these chapters are being formed. So among those of you on the phone, there's 4 of you on the phone. Do you think you can get 10 people in the Macon area who are interested in being a chapter of Georgia Native Plant Society?
There were quite a few people that came to the
Yeah,
meeting a
that
year
meeting.
ago.
Right.
If we could reach out to them as
I have the sign-in sheet with the emails and phone
yeah,
who have
yeah,
provided it. I'm happy to send you a copy of that.
yeah.
I think
That's
so.
the next steps that need to happen is you got to have 10 people. And then among those 10 people, 2 or 3 people have got to volunteer and say, I'll help get it started. Now, this is not a permanent position. This is just for the first month or 2 to get things started. And you will be in close contact with me and with my counterpart, Carling. We co-chair the membership committee. And basically, we will handhold you through the whole process. We will email you. We will come to meetings with you. We will help you send out communications. We'll do whatever you need to help you get going, because this is our part of the GNPS mission. The membership chapter relations committee is to get these chapters up and running and then keep them thriving and growing and being interesting. So we are here, and again, we will just handhold you every step of the way. So you get your 10 people, you get 3 people or more. You can have more that say, yeah, I'll help get the paperwork done and do the first administrative steps. And then it takes, I would say you can do all the administrative stuff except for the IRS tax exemption in under 2 weeks. I mean, if you just sit down and say, we're just going to do it.
Yeah.
Because as I've said, the paperwork you have to do, like filing the articles of incorporation. We not only have model articles of incorporation that you just fill in the blank, we also have step-by-step instructions that tell you how to do it. And we are happy to get on a Zoom call just like this with you, so that when you're online filling out the online form, we can talk you through it. I did that with the North Georgia treasurer, North Georgia Mountains treasurer recently. We got online and did the name registration for their chapter name. So we're happy to do that with you. We will make it as easy as possible. Then once you get, those steps done, you have to get approval from the Georgia Native Plant Society board for your name, your chapter bylaws, a couple other things. But pretty much if you use these standard forms and just fill in the blanks, you've gotten that approval. For chapter names, we recommend either a geographic name or a plant name. So it could be the Macon chapter of the Georgia Native Plant Society, or it could be the
fall line.
Dogwood chapter of the Georgia Native Plant Society, or, something similar. In our meeting yesterday with Athens, they decided that instead of just sticking to Athens, they used Athens-East Piedmont, because it was a larger area that they're going to be pulling from than just the Athens area. People lived in Bogart and different areas. So just to give some understanding, so when you see that chapter name, you kind of know where they're operating. So those are some things to think about for the chapter name. This step 16, applying for the tax exempt status, this is the one thing that will take a little more time. And again, we will get on the computer with you on a Zoom call and we'll walk through it together. We do not want this to be difficult. And after you apply for tax exempt status, it can take a couple of months for the IRS to approve you and let you know. But that doesn't mean you can't go ahead and start operating as a chapter. You can go ahead once you've gotten approval from the board, and you can start having meetings and field trips and workshops and doing whatever those things are that your chapter wants to do. And then after your approval, then you get into you actually select your officers for the chapter. You're going to need a president, a vice president, a secretary, and a treasurer, or a treasurer and secretary can be combined.
Hmm.
Once you have your chapter members, your 10 or 15 or 20 people, you'll have a meeting, and it can be virtual using Zoom, and you can use the Georgia Native Plant Society Zoom account for free to have your meetings. You have a meeting and your chapter votes on your board, whoever has stepped forward and said, I want to be president. So the chapter votes on that. And then you get your bank account, you get some licenses, and then you start having fun.
Wow.
So it's a couple of weeks of a little bit of work. And yes, ongoing, it is work, but keep in mind that when you step up and say, I want to be a chapter officer, whether it's the president, the treasurer, whatever, it's not a lifetime commitment.
Right.
Your chapter may decide to have elections every year or every 2 years. So you're only committing for that period of time.
Yeah.
And what we plan to do is develop a council of chapters so that someone from each chapter will have a meeting on some frequency, and we'll all get together and chapters can talk to each other about what are you doing and what problems are you having and have you tried this, so that we can all learn from each other and learn from each other's mistakes, what to do or what not to do. And that's a great support vehicle. So you don't feel like you're just way down there and making away from everybody trying to figure it out on your own. You will have a support system from the other chapter folks.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
So I am not going to go through this whole document. I am happy to, I can just tell you, if you go out to gnps.org and you click on chapters, you'll get to a chapters page, and this document is on that page. So you can access it whenever you want to see the detail. If anyone wants me to send them a link or any other information, you can email me and I will send it out to you directly. So now I want to know what questions you guys have.
Nothing. I'll be on the startup committee.
Yay.
So like 10 years ago or so, I helped, because I'm not retired. I work at Mercer. I'm the pre-professional advisor. And 10 years ago or so, I helped start an honor society chapter, and it sounds pretty much very similar. Our tax exempt status is a little different, but that sounds pretty doable.
Thank you, Carol. Yay.
I have a question.
Sure.
Thinking of geography, like for example, I know some people down in Bon Air that are very interested, but yet the Coastal Plain chapter, which I go down, I do the native plant certificate classes, and I go to Tifton a lot, and Coastal Plain has a big part to play in that. So I wonder, what would our region, based on the number of other chapters that had interest, what would be our area? Because the bigger our area, the more people would. In fact, how far will we have to go out to get enough?
You can go out as far as you want. Georgia Native Plant Society chapters are not defined by region. They're defined by whatever members say they want to be part of your chapter. So if someone in Atlanta wants to be part of the Macon chapter, that's fine. It's just, and chapter membership isn't restrictive. Someone can be a chapter member of Macon and still go to all of the Coastal Plain events or still go to all of the Atlanta events. It's not restrictive. It's actually meant to give GMPS members more opportunities. I mean, hopefully down the road, we'll have 30, 40 chapters across the state, and just think about all the opportunities you'll have for field trips and workshops and educational meetings and, things like that. So it's not defined by geography, and Coastal Plain is probably hoping you will take some of their people because they're from one end of the coast to the other. They find it very difficult to be able to manage that much geography. Yeah, I think they take turns having their meetings, once in Tifton in one part of the year, and then in another area on the other side of the coast later in the year. So again, it's not geographic, that it's just whoever wants to say, I'm a member of your chapter, can become a member of your chapter from wherever. Now, one thing that membership does give you as a chapter is when you join GMPS, you pay. It's not free. It's $25 or $35 for a family membership. I think it's $50. Once a year, each chapter gets a check for 25% of the membership dues that have been paid by their members for the past year. So that's the money. It's called a chapter rebate. So it's important when you join GMPS, or if you're already a member of GMPS, you go into the website, you go to your profile and you click, there's a checkbox for you to choose the chapter you want to affiliate with, excuse me. And it's important that that checkbox says Macon, so that Macon chapter gets that 25% of the dues.
I was assuming that that we would sort of encompass all of Middle Georgia, because I mean, are Warner Robins and Perry historically included with Coastal Plain? I didn't realize that.
Well, again, it's probably the only option in the south part of Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Right now.
One thing I have found is that our geography, our plant community is unique in that, when I go to classes in Athens, there are plants in there that we'll never see. And even in Coastal Plain, their conditions, the soil is completely different. So anyway, I think the geography would have a lot to do with who is interested in, learning about our plants in this area.
Right.
Fall line, nobody, we're still looking for an expert on fall line botanicals, because it's really hard to talk about the fall line. It's really cool.
Stretches a long way.
It does. We have to maybe fight with Augusta to have the fall line.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Designation.
We'd be better off with Middle Georgia or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What other questions?
Yeah. Well, does anyone want to join me on the startup committee? Or are you gonna wait and see?
I'm a gopher. I don't have skills to do these steps, but if you aim me, I'll help.
That sounds like a volunteer to me. Thank you, Donna.
Awesome.
You guys can start with just the two of you, and as you attract other people, get the word out to more people, and we can email the people who weren't able to attend the meeting. And
I know that there would be a lot of master gardeners in both. Macon has split into a north chapter and a south chapter, but there are members further south, Warner Robins and even Perry that I think would be interested. And also I'd like to reach out to Carol Kelly and see what sort of help she could give us.
now tell me who Carol Kelly is, because that's
She is the county extension.
yeah.
And also there's other people, Kelsey that works there, and then they would have skills that could do. I know that the master gardeners got a lawyer that was a friend of a friend, to do the incorporation type stuff for us. So that's what we need is people with skills to source.
Well, hopefully you won't need a lawyer. I mean, we will walk you through all the steps of the incorporation of everything. And we do have an attorney who has reviewed and approved all of our documents. So, feel some comfort in that. A lot of people are intimidated by it, But I think that because you have a fill in the blank document and step-by-step
Mhm.
instructions and someone to get on the phone with you, on the computer with you and go through the steps, this is easy as we can possibly make it. But one thing about the extension office is that's a great place to go and put up a sign on their bulletin board that if you're interested in joining, here's who to contact. Because a lot of people are in and out of the extension office.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or any place like that, your library, any place the master gardeners meet, or if you're just in the master gardeners group, just getting the word out to folks that we're forming a chapter.
Well, while we're on this topic, I'm co-chair of the North Chapter, and that's why I'm sitting here thinking, oh, I cannot add more stuff.
Yeah.
Even that little thing is, it takes a lot of time, but we're having Doug Tallamy as our speaker for the joint meeting next in June. So Carol, if you want, I'm sure we can wangle you an invitation to that. We are going to try to reach a wide audience with him.
And that's the North Chapter of the Botanical Society?
No, of the Master Gardeners of
Oh,
Central.
Master Garden. Okay, gotcha.
This is the, sort of the Bibb County half.
Yeah, okay.
Houston is actually bigger than Bibb, but
Oh, we could put a stop to that.
yeah,
Just
we need to definitely get you to get to attend that session.
Where is that session, Mary Ann? Where's it going to be?
Well, it's virtual.
Yes.
We wouldn't be able to do it if it weren't virtual. That's
Right.
kind of the great thing.
I'm thinking to the future, imagining the day when we can all get together. That'd be awesome, Carol, if you can go to that and they just do a little couple-minute presentation and say, here's what we're doing and here's how to join us.
Love it.
That'd be fabulous.
Well, related to that, so how territorial are, I mean, Donna, you've been a master gardener a lot longer than I have. So is it, I know it's not a competition, it's a parallel interest kind of, but is there any problem with, us making announcements about GMPS through master gardener activities, or that's kind of a natural fit to me, but not everybody wants to hear about native plants, I'm here to tell you.
Right.
There were a lot of master gardeners at that first meeting.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't see why there should be any competition. I think there are some people that are interested in both and that are members of the Georgia Native. What I'd like to see is a little cooperation between Georgia Botanical Society and Native Plant Society. That somehow they have general interests, but in a way they're almost competitive.
Interesting.
I think a lot of GNPS members are members of BOTSOC also, but
Right.
BOTSOC seems to like, their focus is field trips.
Yes, it
They're doing
is.
Field trips, and that's really what they do.
Well, it is. But I think if you want to learn about native plants, you got to go see them.
Right. I love their field trips. I have learned so much.
Yeah.
I did the last one I went to was just before COVID. It was a winter tree ID. And oh my goodness, those people know so much. It's just amazing that they can look at a tree from 20 feet and say, that's a sourwood.
That's right.
Like, how do you know?
Yeah.
So they're secretly native plant enthusiasts. They just don't feel themselves
Right.
that way. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I have the sign-in sheet right in front of me from the Macon meeting that I'm happy to send to Carol or whoever wants it.
Deanne
There were
says,
about
Deanne says she feels underqualified, but can help fill out paperwork.
all
I mean,
right.
if I do all the heavy lifting and have Deanne
Yeah.
and Donna, that should work, right? Deanne, is that okay?
You can always,
Okay, yes.
yay!
Yeah.
Because you can always, if someone asks you to do something and you just can't, you can just say, I just can't.
Exactly.
You have to be honest and you have to know your limits and don't overextend yourself and get burnt out.
Right.
Very important. Share the wealth, share the work. And if you can't, just say no. And it's okay. We are all volunteers. No one is going to write us a check at the end of this week for what we're doing for
Right.
Georgia Native Plant Society. So I always try and remember that, I have family, I have grandchildren, and sometimes I just can't do things that the board might want me to do. I just have to say, I'm sorry, I have my grandson that weekend and I just can't. And other people as well. So we all have our limits and we just have to be respectful of what each other can and can't do. And it will work if everyone just keeps that in mind.
Yes, I'm excited.
I am too. Carol, you were at that meeting because I have your email here on this sheet as BOKROS at _C
Underscore C.
at mercer.edu, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Donna, I have you at DESIGNDKE at yahoo.com. Is that
Yep.
still good?
Yep.
Yay. Deanne, were you at that meeting?
I was. Oh,
Did you sign in though?
Uh-oh.
oh,
Uh-oh. You may have to give me your email. I don't see Deanne. I don't. Oh,
Wait,
don't see your email. Deanne, would you mind giving it to me while we're talking? Did I say Deanne?
yeah.
Is that right?
Can you see that?
Oh, I see it now. I'm sorry. ABRNTGR. Yay, Deanne. Fall line chapter. I like that too, Deanne.
But I get the whole Augusta thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Columbus, don't
it-
forget us.
oh,
They're also.
yeah, because they're on the fall line too. We don't want to exclude anybody.
You'd be making people mad right off the bat.
Oh, that can be our name. Making people mad. Making.
Yeah.
Making people mad since it was in style.
or we could go for Altmogi.
Oh, I like that too.
How can we be making bacon flowers? I don't know.
Making nature happy.
That's cute. That could be a good slogan. Macon chapter.
Oh, that could be
Macon.
yeah, it's not a good
Yeah.
name, but yeah, it could be
Yeah.
a slogan.
Yeah, it could be your little byline. Well, I think you guys are off to a good start. You got your startup committee. I will, if you want, since I have all your emails, I will email you a link to this chapter quick start guide, just so you don't have to go out there on gnps.org and look for it.
Great.
Our webpage is not as up to date as I would like it to be, but one day it will be. We used to have a communications committee and we no longer do, but that's okay. We will get there.
Mhm.
And just to say again, I am here to support you in whatever you need. My counterpart, Carleen Kirk, she is here to support you with whatever you need. She's a working full-time young person. She doesn't have as much time as I do, but she's a software developer and very technical. So she can help us with things that I can't help with.
Yeah.
So it's a good pair.
Excellent.
Another thing I wanted to recommend to you that you can do, I'm not recommending that, I'm just saying that some chapters have done this, is started a Facebook page, Macon chapter interest. There's one out there for North Metro, Atlanta, GNPS forming chapter, and there's one for Athens. So you could look at those if you use Facebook to see what they're doing. But it's a good way to get the news out too. If you have, folks on social media that then can share it, and it's a good way to get out there and get names. But most importantly, as you're getting people interested and they say, yes, I wanted it, just be sure and have them go join GNPS if you're not a member and select the Macon chapter as your chapter affiliation.
Yeah.
Then we can help you with getting email lists for all of your members so you can be in contact with them and a tons of other things. One of the things I didn't share with you yet, it's not on that chapter quick start, is once your chapter gets up and going, we have all kind of tools. We have our membership database, and someone from the chapter or more than one person if needed can have access. So you can run reports to see where are all of our members? Where do they live? I need to send an email out and let everyone know about this event we're having. We can do that through this database. So it's very simple. And the membership committee manages all those tools, and we will help you with that. We also have a Google workspace for Georgia Native Plant Society. So your chapter will get a set of folders on the GNPS Google workspace
Yeah.
for you to put all of your documents. So you can store everything, your meeting minutes, all your paperwork for getting the chapter started somewhere electronically. Because what we've seen happen before is the president or the secretary or somebody has it on their computer,
Yep.
and all of a sudden that computer quits working and all those documents are lost. So it's a free place for you to store your documents. You can access it from anywhere. And we have lots of other tools. The web page, when you get to the point you want to have a chapter web page, you can do that as part of the GNPS web page, and it's free at no charge. Or you may choose to just go and have it somewhere else through, some other WordPress or Wix or something. And then at that point, it's a chapter expense. But the GNPS will, there's no cost for using the GNPS webpage, for posting your events out there, for adding things to the calendar, for putting announcements out there.
Excellent.
So we have a lot of support tools for you.
Most of the chapters don't have separate dues, right?
They do not.
Good.
But you can,
That's easier
if you want to,
people.
as a chapter,
Right.
you can have additional chapter dues. It's something that GNPS allows. So you could say that, over and above the GNPS dues, it's going to also cost $10 more for your chapter, and that money goes straight to you. What a lot of chapters do is when they have in-person meetings, they just put up a donation jar. And then, one of the big fundraisers that chapters have are plant sales. So I heard someone say there's a good propagator. So there's your start.
Excellent.
So, propagating plants and selling plants is a good fundraiser. We have a lot of opportunities, and we'll help you with those as well.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
Donna, all right, Donna, I think you're talking, but you're on mute.
Oh.
And the background there's grass being cut. No, I think you've got the wrong propagator. It's Vivian Skipper that does all the plants. But
All
anyway,
right.
I like seeds, to do seeds.
Yeah.
Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
Right, that's true.
Yeah. Okay.
Greg Lewis, if we can get him on board.
Well, he said he was interested.
He wanted to come to this meeting. He would be like somebody we need to call.
Now, is that the person with the nursery?
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be great. And they can be a partner with you on your plant sales. So, maybe they bring their own plants and then maybe help you propagate or
field trip down to see his garden. He loves to give tours of his garden around his house.
Awesome. I might even take a trip to Macon for that from Gainesville. What is
Gotta
that?
make an appointment.
2.5 hours?
From here.
Amazing. Cool.
All right. So if you have any other questions, I'm going to email do I have everybody's email? Did I get Marianne, do I have your email?
It should be on that list.
Okay.
In theory.
Yes, you're right. I got Marianne's, I've got Donna's, I got Deanne's, I got Carol's. The only other person is me, and I've got mine. I'll send an email out to all you guys after this meeting. It may be tomorrow. My grandson's due any moment here, but I will send you a link to the chapter quick start guide. I will email you, attached to the email, I'll scan the sign-in sheet from the Macon meeting so you have a contact list for people to reach out to.
Wonderful.
And then I am here for you at your beck and call for whatever you need, as long as my grandson isn't here, because he is 3, almost 4, and he talks more than any 3-year-old I have ever known. So
our first guest speaker, right?
Yeah, he would do it. He would do it. He would tell you about things you can't even imagine, but
that's wonderful. Well, there's no rush. We have commencement tomorrow. I can't even think about anything else until.
Gotcha. Well, thank you all. It's been a pleasure to meet you, and I look forward to, honestly, I will drive down to Macon for some of your events. I drove down for the symposium and I thought it was worth it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that Macon will probably be where we have the next symposium, if we're allowed to have it in person, because it's just so successful when it's down there. It's,
Convenient. Yeah.
Yep.
Right in the middle. Fabulous.
All right. Well, thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Stay in touch.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.